if it was me, would you guys kill me on stage? Like, how would it go if I was to face GWAR on stage?
I don't think you're famous enough yet.
Yeah. I think you need some notoriety, at least a Wikipedia page before you get killed on stage by GWAR. Welcome back to Innersleeve on SoundMojo. I'm your host, Cassius Morris. It's episode number 24 of the podcast, and I think I can speak for all of us here on the call, Frank and Joe. We're really excited about this episode, guys. This is a big episode.
Oh, baby.
Big in every sense of the word. Like, they don't even fit on the screen.
Yes, physically big, colossal. If you guys don't know,
intergalactic.
I was watching that, and I'm like, damn, these guys don't fit on the screen, man.
Seriously.
Yeah. Huge guest. Go ahead.
We were hoping. I think originally we were supposed to have 3.
We couldn't have even had 3 people. We would have had to have them separately called from another room on Zoom if there was. Unbelievable.
It was cool because
it was hilarious.
I like to try to keep the frame people in the center, like myself in the center, and there's like, nope, there ain't no center. It's just like, and they're off screen cut.
It's cool. They have their name in the background. But yeah, anyways, the guest on this week's show is GWAR.
If you haven't guessed yet from the thumbnail,
If you haven't guessed from the thumbnail, you better just leave now because you're in trouble. No, but really happy to have Bone Crusher and Balsac from GWAR, the timeless, controversial, iconic group. I mean, the list goes on and on with what you can label GWAR as. Guys, I thought it was really cool because I feel like whenever you go to GWAR world, like it's their world and you're just living in it, you have to adapt to them, which was quite a chore for me as an interviewer.
100%, man. Like that band's been around for a long time with a cult following and all the great stuff that comes along with a band like that. But I never really dove into the catalog fully, And so as I'm editing, I'm listening to this stuff, and a lot of it is actually really, really cool, heavy stuff. And then I always liked artists like Frank Zappa or like these guys where it's like they just don't take it too seriously and they just have fun with it. And look, it catches on. It's like they have a whole career based out of it,
A few things I want to bring up. Cassius did a good job on the interview. I loved the entire time. I'll go on record here and say we've had some great guests. This one's definitely the most unique guests we've had on the show. In both their appearance and the way you spoke with them, because I love how you stayed to the script with them. Basically, you stayed in character. Yeah. Exactly. So I think some of their diehard fans, if they come and watch the interview, they'll appreciate that from you. I think we learned that there's such an incredible amount of lore to them, from their entire story about how they came to Earth, their entire lore about their new rye whiskey, which is Ragnarok, and that has an entire story behind it. So these guys are really like attention to detail kind of guys. And I felt like one of the major takeaways was you look at the way they look, you look at the way they speak, and yet Balsac, I believe, said that hip hop is some of the best music humans have ever made. That's what he said.
That struck me too, actually.
I found that very interesting.
He's not wrong.
I don't think he's wrong. Yeah, it's cool to see that they could appreciate that. And for people who don't know, we get into this in the interview you're about to watch. GWAR goes way back in the hip hop community. They were always accepted by, Ice-T, Body Count back in the 90s. So even if you're not a metal fan, this is definitely going to be a good episode for you to check out. And also, I get roasted by GWAR. So we're not going to spoil it, but it was pretty interesting getting roasted by GWAR. I was like, I thought I'd be slinging the jokes here, but GWAR got me. So
yeah. They're quick-witted guys. That's for sure. You could tell.
I love what Frank said. It's true, because it's like, it was funny how seamless it was from character to just a regular, it's them talking about the experience and stuff. I love the fact that they don't even remember some of the albums, I forgot what that one was like.
What was that one again?
yeah. It's funny, it's cool.
But that was one of the coolest things we did in this interview. We actually have GWAR break down their most iconic albums from the first record all the way to what they're doing now with their new acoustic record, which is going to drop. Make sure you click that link in our description. Of course, we're going to have the pre-order and everything there. But we're not going to hold you guys any longer. We got some topics to cover after, including reading you guys' comments. There's a bunch of new music festivals coming up and a bunch of other topics in the music field that you're not going to want to miss. But first, here is Innersleeve's exclusive conversation with GWAR.
Oderus, you left us stranded on this world of past, and in death you have forsaken us. Oh, this planet fucking sucks, so we say, fuck
GWAR, what's happening, fellas?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing fantastic. Bonesnapper and Balsac, all the way from Antarctica. Are you guys in Antarctica today, or are you guys back in space?
We are in Antarctica. We're waiting to get back to the United States. You know, we got some problems going on up there right now.
So you're quarantined out there?
Yeah, they won't let us come in from Antarctica.
I believe it.
Our passports.
We're gonna float in on the next iceberg that breaks off.
There you go. That's what you guys need to do. You know, speaking of space and you guys, obviously you're UFOs. I mean, here in Canada, it's actually been reported to the police that UFO sightings have spiked almost double here in Canada. I don't know if you guys were trying to get back in, or maybe some of your home people were flying around.
I think that's some other scumdogs looking for us. Maybe Sawboard.
Yeah, we got a big giant thumb sticking out of Antarctica. We're trying to hitch a ride off this planet, so they're looking for us.
Giant thumb.
They're in the wrong hemisphere, but they're looking for us.
Yeah.
I love it. So you guys have contact with your own species outside of Earth, I would take it.
We try, but we're sort of the stepchild.
Yeah, we get crappy reception here on Earth.
Yeah.
The reception's not too good to space.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that wrap of 5G.
Yeah, exactly. That'll help GWAR all the way, 100%. You know, I know that you guys, one of the things you love the most about this planet is, of course, the drugs and alcohol. I mean, that's, you know, I think that a lot of people probably enjoy that. And you guys actually have your own rye whiskey coming out, the Rancor Rye. Is that correct?
Ragnarok Rye.
Ragnarok Rye. Okay, beautiful. Now, what went into this? Because I'm sure you guys have tried so many different selections. How did you really narrow it down to say this is what our whiskey?
Well, as I mentioned, we got the iceberg water, and that was just a happenstance. I floated by the distillery, and they used some of that Antarctican water. Balsac knows the rest of the recipe. I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's called Ragnarok Rye. It's named after the world-killing comet that hit the Earth in the year 2000. I don't know if you remember it or not. A lot of people forgot that Ragnarok came and failed. But we were there waiting for it. We were hoping to catch a ride back in outer space, riding on this comet that was supposed to destroy the Earth. But unfortunately, it ended up being one of our arch enemies, the ultra-religious robot Cardinal Sin. But anyway, when this comet hit, he rode in on this giant chunk of ice, which broke off parts of the glaciers in Antarctica. And we used that ice to make the rye whiskey. A big chunk of it ended up in Virginia at Catoctin Creek.
Okay, interesting. Now, how much testing have you guys done of your whiskey throughout the weeks? Because I know GWAR are quite experienced drinkers.
We drank the entire first batch, and that's what delayed the release. They distilled 1,000 barrels, and we had to test all of them, and we had nothing left to sell. So.
Yeah, it was so strong, Balsac wrecked his car.
Who would you guys say is the most experienced drinker in GWAR? I mean, who can drink the others under the table? Is there somebody?
Depends on what table you're talking about. There's a lot of people up there, and we've been under a lot of them.
You've been under a lot of them. You guys like to hang out under there every once in a while.
Yeah.
Now, the single that just came out is called Fuck This Place. It sounds like you guys are having some second thoughts about being down here. Can you talk to me about sort of the inspiration for this single?
Well, it's an acoustic version of a song off of our last album, The Blood of Gods. And it's basically how we feel about the planet Earth. It's fuck this place. This place actually sucks. It's horrible. And we want to get the hell out of here as fast as we can.
Yeah, I don't think those are second thoughts. I think those are the thoughts we've had since we woke up.
This is true. It's not like you were really embracing Earth. You were sort of trying to kill us.
Yes.
This is the truth. Yeah, you still are. So, if it was me, would you guys kill me on stage? How would it go if I was to face GWAR on stage?
I don't think you're famous enough yet.
Yeah. I think you need some notoriety, at least a Wikipedia page before you get killed on stage by GWAR. Speaking of that, has GWAR ever gotten any backlash from anybody, any public figures? I know you've had most presidents, a lot of different people. Has there ever been any backlash?
Yeah, Sarah Palin.
Oh, yes. What happened with her?
She got Oderus kicked off of Fox News. True story. He was, I don't know if you remember, but Oderus was the first intergalactic correspondent on Fox News, and
Yes.
he was lampooning everybody. And apparently, Sarah Palin is the most humorless jerk we've ever killed because she found out, thought she was special, and got him kicked off Fox News.
Unbelievable. And rest his soul, of course. I mean, incredible. What do you guys think was the most iconic GWAR television appearance? Was it Jerry Springer? Was it Joan Rivers?
Wally George.
Wally George?
Wally George.
I don't think I saw that one.
Springer and Joan Rivers, they were definitely high points in our career. Meeting those two pieces of television trash were great. But I think that probably Beavis and Butthead, those guys were my favorite ones that I enjoyed seeing on their show. They were two pleasant young boys who were well-mannered, and they had, a lot of important insight on American culture that they shared with us. We had a great time hanging out with them.
They might be the only humans we ever hung out with we didn't kill.
Yeah.
Right, this is true. And they also have their own commentary on society, much like you guys.
I'd say they're the closest things to peers we got.
I would say so. And I heard that the creator of Beavis and Butthead actually has ties to the human slaves of GWAR. Is that correct?
Mike Judge? I don't think so.
Okay. See, you never know. There's a lot of rumors about GWAR because people love to use the name in the headline. You never know what they're going to write out there.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of the acoustic reworking of Fuck This Place, what was the inspiration behind the acoustic GWAR? And what can you tell us about the acoustic stuff that's coming up?
Well, with COVID, you may have noticed there were a lot of videos out of celebrities like doing covers and being acoustic and all singing and feel good stuff. And we thought that's what you were supposed to do. You were supposed to go on the internet and play really lame versions of good songs. That's basically
so that's what you wanted to, but I don't think it's lame. I actually quite enjoyed it.
Well,
I just thought it was a symptom of COVID as well. I thought that they were sick or something, and they just did it because they weren't feeling good.
and it was great because we didn't have to be in the same room as each other to record. That's any of that. We just all sat in our own bedrooms and played it without having to look at each other.
There's probably a lot more space in the room because you guys take quite a bit of space. You're quite large.
We do. I mean,
We can't even fit on the same screen.
yeah.
Seriously, I look at it. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Obviously,
This is the first time we've been in the same room together. They started giving the vaccine to people down in Antarctica. They started with people 70 and over, and since we are 50 million years old, we were first in line to get the vaccine. So
naturally.
we're allowed to be in the same room together now. This is pretty awesome.
Yeah, no more chicken pox for us.
Pretty soon we're going to be on stage again.
I figured you guys' DNA was the vaccine. I figured you guys had just the immunity built into you.
Actually, the disease came from our blood, I'm pretty sure.
Right.
Yeah.
This is true. The originators of it. You guys mentioned, obviously we're talking about you guys' physical appearance, and, it's plain to see you guys are not in costume. I mean, any rational person would realize this is you guys' actual body. But for, a mere, foolish human like me, let's say I wanted to look like GWAR, I would need to use a costume. How long do you think it would take me to get dressed up in you guys? How many hours?
Well, it would take a lifetime, I think. But
so it may not be achievable.
Those Halloween style costumes and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Big
Okay.
rubber knockoffs, then you could probably do it in an hour.
Yeah. 25 minutes. Yeah.
But it would never be anywhere close. I mean, this isn't something that you can compare here.
No. We've killed plenty of people trying to do that mess.
This is true. Have you ever seen a GWAR costume that impressed you? Probably not.
What is impressed? What is impressed mean?
I don't know. Maybe somebody that you could have added to the band.
Oh, okay. Well, we liked Thor. We did 2 shows with Thor, and he killed Gorgor one night. He was
This is
an
the
impressive.
Canadian Thor, not the Norse Thor.
Gotcha.
The metal
Okay.
Thor from Canada. Your Thor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. I remember this guy for sure. So he was involved with GWAR.
Well, no, he did. We did shows together,
Right.
and we played a show with him, and we let him come out and kill Gorgor, and he was the only one mighty enough to kill Gorgor. Rock and Roll Nightmare. It's a classic.
Absolutely. One of the classics. You guys also have a really cool relationship that it seems like you guys sort of transcend music, because the community seems to have really embraced you guys. You know, like a couple other members did an appearance on the No Jumper podcast, one of the biggest hip hop shows. What are you guys' thoughts on Earth's hip hop community and scene?
Well, it's been a huge influence on us forever. I think it's some of the best music humans have ever made. You know, I think
Clips. I love Clips from Norfolk, Virginia.
Oh yeah, okay. See, that's high praise. That is some of the best.
Pharrell produced their albums.
Gotcha. Interesting. And you guys actually, I know GWAR has a long-going relationship going back with Ice-T and Body Count. I don't know if there's anything you guys can tell me about that.
He's a fabulous human being. Okay, so we're going against everything, and we're listing all these humans that we actually like. Ice-T, he's on that list.
I mean, he's horrible. Sorry, we got to take it back. You're right.
One of our first songs, the Salamanizer, was actually covered by NWA. They changed the name to Gangsta Gangsta. So yeah, I was honored by that.
That's fascinating too, to see that you guys are so well accepted by this community, and you guys seem to accept them, which is also rare. It's sort of an anomaly all around.
I think since GWAR invented all of music, we can say that hip hop is also something we love, because we invented all of it. So
it's true. I mean, Tupac actually gave you guys credit in the liner notes. I don't know if you guys saw that on his biggest record. He actually credited GWAR for the writing of all the songs.
Oh,
that was nice of him.
I know.
Well, I'll be checking the mailbox for those checks.
Yeah, it said those royalty checks should be coming in pretty soon. You know, something cool we thought of doing is going through you guys' discography with some of you guys' biggest records, obviously a lot of iconic hits, and just to get you guys' sort of thoughts, maybe any memories of the time you recorded it or reaction to the music. And I wanted to go all the way back to the first record. I'm curious you guys' impression on Hello, the 1988 debut of GWAR.
That album has faded so far into my memory, I can barely recall it. I actually have no clear memory of it at all. I've heard stories that it was recorded over the telephone.
Well, that's why I like it so much. I was still roaming around looking for GWAR. I was a GWAR fan at that point, and I just found out what a telephone was. So I was ecstatic that they recorded an album over the telephone. I love that album. It's super punk rock. It's lo-fi. I personally love it.
Absolutely. And Scumdogs of the Universe came in 1990. I mean, massive record. You know, this is probably one of the things that broke the band. You must have some fond memories of this.
It's the classic GWAR album. I think it's the album that most people go to when they first want to introduce somebody to GWAR. It's kind of our manifesto, I think.
Absolutely.
And we just re-released that this year, 30th anniversary.
Yes.
Scumdogs of the Universe. So we just re-released that, and there's a nice box set out. So of course we all feel fondly about that album.
Yeah, not only did we remaster it, we completely remixed it, brought out stuff from the original recordings. It's never been heard before. It's actually a brand new album. Really, it sounds totally different. People who love the original hate it.
Yeah,
but it's actually, we love it because it sounds so much better now. And it's not like we didn't go back and re-record things. We went to the original tapes, got a great producer who really brought out the way it was supposed to sound originally.
I love that. And, you know, a lot of purists, they can be resistant to these remixes, and I was one of those people, but I've found after giving most of them a chance, they 99% of the time sound better and sound the way that the artist wants them to. Were you guys ever resistant to remix your own records, or were you always like, yeah, let's do this?
Oh, we definitely were like, yeah, let's do this, because we were never happy with the way Scumdogs sounded. You know, if we could find the master tapes of Hello, we'd probably remix that too. It's just the sound qualities of those early albums are so dated and thin sounding by today's standards.
But I tell you, as someone who likes lo-fi music, I like shitty sounding music because it's at its own aesthetic. But I understand with Scumdogs, we had the tapes the whole time, and humans had the tapes the whole time.
Right.
I thought it was toilet paper. Luckily, it was taken away from me.
You thought it was toilet paper just hanging out the back?
It's quarter-inch, so, you know, it fit.
Hey, that's a fair assumption, especially if you're not from this planet. I mean, what do you expect people to think?
Yeah.
1992, America Must Be Destroyed, another big record. What are your thoughts on sort of the production and conception of this album?
that album was produced by a Canadian, Glenn Robbins. That was sort of we had a concept. We had a story. We had been touring with this story, with those songs about how we found a dinosaur egg and injected it with crack, and it grew into a giant Tyrannosaurus Rex who wanted revenge on us. And at the same time, we were being chased by a product of the 80s, Tipper Gore's Morality Squad, led by Grambo. And so we took all these stories that we accumulated from being on tour and released them in that album, and then made a movie to go along with it called Phallus in Wonderland.
Grammy nominated.
Absolutely. And would you guys say that was the crown jewel of GWAR video, or is there another one that really stands out in you guys' mind?
Well, I personally think Skullhead Face the next one, but maybe people, I think fan opinion is that's a little too convoluted, which is why I really like it. Maybe as far as pop culture goes, yeah. Phallus is our pinnacle because of it was years in the making,
right?
And it we were nominated for a Grammy, and so we don't know how the hell that happened.
Well, you should have won it if you ask me. I mean, that's what one thing GWAR needs is a Grammy. 1,000%.
Yeah, we need to lose that third nomination.
Hey, you've lost more times than me. I mean, I'd rather lose a Grammy than not be nominated, to be frank. Another incredible one, Violence Has Arrived. We'll jump up to 2001. Probably my favorite cover from the GWAR albums. Definitely just really pulls you in.
Adrian Smith was the painter. He did a lot of work with wargaming. Like, if you're into like gaming, like I think we did Warhammer paintings.
Yes.
Very cool.
This band has always been very, very into the gaming world, just as nerds, and so he helped define a new direction for GWAR. We were trying to get away from some goofiness, if that can be done, but we looked to him to help make us a little more metal looking, and then he did the job. So yet again, another human that's okay.
Just okay. We can't give him too much credit.
Yeah.
But Violence Has Arrived really was the marking point of us taking metal a bit more seriously. In our earlier career, we kind of parodied it more, and I think with Violence, we actually became a metal band. We became the thing we were laughing at all these years.
That's fascinating. Do you guys find it tough to sort of make those changes, whether it was in your look a little bit, whether it was in your sound? Because, like, did it ever feel like you were sort of so caught into what you were doing before that you couldn't change?
It just happens organically. I think, when you look like this, it's kind of freeing because you don't give a fuck what people think about you.
Right. I guess that comes with the welcome package. Which is nice. Hey, that's liberating. You know what I mean? What would you guys say is the best produced GWAR album?
I would say The Blood of Gods, our latest one.
Yes, and see, now this is exciting stuff. Now, what sets this one apart from the other records in your mind?
It's the first album we recorded without Oderus Urungus. A lot of people, including ourselves, were kind of like, can we continue to be a band without the thing that was, in so many ways, our heart and head?
And the glue.
Yeah, the sick, gooey glue that kept us together. But so it was hard. We did this one. We definitely had to reinvent ourselves and become the band that we are now.
Definitely. No, that makes sense. And it must have been tough because I can't really think of a bigger transition than the lead sort of face and voice of your band. So that must have been quite a difficult one at first.
Absolutely. I mean, we've been going through a lot of changes. The album before that, we had just lost Flattus Maximus.
Right.
And so we took two huge blows in a row, and just took us a while to regain our footing and figure out what we wanted to do and who we were and what we sounded like.
we were trying to give it up, but the humans we hate so much, their outpouring of love and their bodies for us to kill, we couldn't stop.
Exactly. It's addictive. It must be. Once you get a little taste of it. How about This Toilet Earth, 1994?
So that's one of my favorites, but we covered a lot of different territory as far as styles with that album. You know, it's got some country stuff on it. It's got some Broadway show tunes.
Right. Went all the way.
All over the place, which I always enjoy doing. I love like not having the boundaries of just being a metal band and being able to do whatever we want.
Absolutely. Who does the lion's share of the writing in the group now?
It changes from album to album. I mean, since historically Oderus wrote the lion's share of the lyrics, and he would write stuff, and we wouldn't even know what the songs were until we got in the studio and he started screaming on them.
Wow.
But now it's become a lot more of a collaborative group effort where we're all throwing stuff in there, and have Blothar's stepped up and creating a lot lyrically, but myself and Pustulus are writing a lot more lyrically as well.
But also remember, throughout GWAR's history, we are an ensemble. So you had the Sexecutioner wrote his own lyrics, and Sleazy wrote his, and my Bonesnapper song, I wrote my lyrics. So because they come from my experience.
Absolutely. So that being said, it's not just about the characters. A lot of it may have to do with the human slaves as well. That's obviously a big element. You could probably
we don't really
say.
Care about them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never heard of them. One more record I wanted to sort of get your perspective on is War Party 2004. What can you tell me about this one?
That was the one where Flattus had gone through another personality change, and he really came in strong. His guitar tech, Corey Smoot, that was the first time he started working with Flattus, and really brought some fresh, just his guitar playing was
a lot of Swedish metal influence on that one. A lot of Meshuggah and a lot of so definitely GWAR had been metal, but it went in a different metal direction for that time, which was
Flattus's writing for that album really stepped it up.
I love that album.
Super duper heavy. Yeah, it's cool. It must be cool to kick that up a notch and sort of experiment with it, have a little more fun with it. Or, I think you guys are having fun all the time, but, definitely experimenting with it. That's really cool to go back in you guys' history like that. Last thing I really want to know, I only had about 2 more questions. What would you guys say was the greatest GWAR concert for you specifically? And I'm sure you may not have the same one, so it may be a different response.
I'll say the one that sort of baffled me the most. Okay, I know. Bloodstock,
okay.
Bloodstock. And because it was a big show and that was good. We played in front of a lot of people, but we'd been getting better at playing festival shows. We were always told we couldn't do it, and we were just proving ourselves. But our truck driver got lost, and he showed up 15 minutes before we were supposed to play.
Wow. Holy
We got the truck unloaded and played on time.
Jesus.
And I remember the local crew, the British crew, just being flabbergasted that we did it, because we were getting ready to cancel, and he came around the corner maybe 20, maybe 18 minutes before we hit the stage, and we did it.
Man, that's it. That must be, talk about a quick change.
Well, we just felt like we were the greatest rock and roll band of all time at that point. So when Twisted Sister played, we were like, eh.
Yeah. Who are they? Would you say Bloodstock also?
I would say our greatest shows were the GWARbecue. I can't pick which year, but we kind of grew our own festival in Richmond, Virginia. We would have it at this old 1970s water park and invite our friends to come play, and it just grew and grew until finally it was just too much work and we stopped doing it. But hopefully we'll bring back the GWARbecue one day.
That would be really cool to see. And I know people can also look forward to May 28th. You guys are planning the Disc with No Name. That's going to be coming out via Pit Records. Is that going to be a fully acoustic record?
It is fully acoustic
Wow.
reimaginings of 4 classic GWAR tunes.
Awesome. Well, I'm really excited for people to see that. Definitely encourage them to go check it out. Lastly, guys, I'm just curious, here on Earth, there's a couple guys that obviously GWAR invented music, but some people were influenced by GWAR. I'm just curious, what are your thoughts on other guys in costumes? Maybe if you ever heard of a group called Kiss, a group called Slipknot? Curious on your thoughts.
I never heard of those guys, but I'm a big fan of Midnight. They wear people that wear hoods. I really like Ghoul. Some of the punk rock costume stuff I really do like a lot. I'd say Midnight and Ghoul, and there's other guys. I'll look them up.
Yeah.
Kiss? How do you speak?
I think KISS. It's an affectionate move here on Earth.
Pretty catchy name.
Yeah, I think they can maybe make it one day, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
Awesome, guys. Listen, thank you so much for your time. You guys are incredible. And everybody make sure to go check out the Disc with No Name, May 28th via Pit Records.
We will be back on the road this year. I promise you.
We hope so. GWAR, thank you so much, guys. You rock.
Thank you.
Take care, guys.
A rich cannot be dulled by alcohol. And as for you, I can't bugger all. Fuck you, so we say. Fuck this place. So we say. Fuck this place. So we say. Fuck this place.
Never a dull moment with GWAR, guys. I'll tell you that.
Never,
Oh my
never,
God.
never.
Oh my God,
Were
man.
you a bit upset that they wouldn't want to kill you on stage?
No, you know what? I would
That
be
was
more
funny.
upset if they tried to act like I was relevant enough. Like I said, I think you at least, once you get a Wikipedia page, which will hopefully happen one day, they could get me. But no, I mean, I think that when you've been in this environment and maybe people try to ask you questions like that, it's like you got to have a quick wit and quick response. And that's what I
Yeah.
appreciate about GWAR.
You
Always
know what
they're
man?
doing.
They stayed true to who they are. They were just brutally honest with you, Cassius. They're like, buddy, you're not popular enough, man. And but anyways,
I
yeah.
love.
But that's it.
I love that they mentioned the one person who complained was Sarah Palin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
found that so
interesting too.
hilarious. Like,
Oh,
I
I
know,
would
it's
love to have
crazy.
seen like maybe a battle in the news or something. I don't think they would have played that game GWAR, but why not? Right? It would have brought their status so much higher, like just being in the public eye like that.
Yeah.
It's fascinating to me that they've managed to become as mainstream as they are. And I mean, I'm happy that they have, because as you said, Joe, you go into the actual, there's some really fun stuff there. And I think like what you said off the top is important. It's like they're not bound to being extremely serious in their music. And I think that actually opens up avenues for them that can be very enjoyable.
I'm really curious now to like listen to what GWAR Acoustic sounds like.
Seriously.
I wonder if they would even perform acoustically. Like, what would it look like, or what would it be? That's interesting.
GWAR
to
Unplugged.
watch.
We're going to need 6 different instead of 1 to fit everybody on it.
Yeah.
It'd be friggin' amazing. No, but yeah, definitely everybody go check that out. The acoustic record, of course, covering the GWAR hits. And of course, we broke down the GWAR hits. So very exciting episode for us. And speaking of episodes, I don't even know. We're not speaking of episode. That's my attempt at a transition, folks. We got some of your comments from the last episode that we posted with Dave Windorf from Monster Magnet. Definitely some cool stuff here, guys. Some good audience interaction on this.
Yeah, we asked for it on that episode, after the interview with Dave. And, shout out to people like, first of all, the Third Stooge. Thank you for, we essentially went out there and we asked you guys, you know what? Leave a comment on what you think about the artist we spoke about after the interview with Dave, which we covered the Billboard Awards. The Third Stooge says, Taylor Swift makes awful music. Entitled to your opinion.
Tell us how you really
course.
feel, Stooge.
But I agree about her work ethic. But that, and he finishes up by saying, but I agree about her work ethic, which we went in depth on. That's this type of stuff that we want to see from you guys. Just, tell us what you're thinking. Also, another shout out to, if I'm pronouncing this incorrectly, I apologize, but moi, because I've missed you guys. Really do hope you get the recognition you deserved. Best content delivery for music, news, and up and coming artists. So thank you. That's kind of what we strive to do. Like the behind the scenes, Cassius, Joe, and myself. We're like, you know what, guys? Let's just put out together good content, good topic pieces to discuss. And like you said, said in the comments, news about up and coming artists, which we do have a lot of on this channel. That's kind of our identity. We do like having the bigger name people, which we reach out to and want to have on the show, but we don't hesitate to have up and coming artists as well. So thank you for your comments.
Thank you very much. And there's also we've also sort of it didn't decree this between the three of us in terms of what the goal was for the show, besides obviously everybody wants to get the Beyoncés and all the big names, but the idea is also, and SoundMojo is also to independent and upcoming artists and to really try to give them a spotlight, because those big guys already have the spotlight, a lot of spotlight, right? So we're trying to help them, and we're also, being Canadian, we're trying to help a lot of our fellow Canadians. Now, it doesn't mean that just because you're Canadian or whatever, but we're global here. We've done interviews from from Japan to freaking now Antarctica with GWAR. We've done next one coming up is Kirk Fletcher, right, from Switzerland. So we're global here,
True.
So it's
Absolutely.
I too appreciate the comments. I know there's this one band, a Canadian band called Y. They've really ever since the Lanois, and I appreciate it. Just want to say hi to the guys if they're watching. I appreciate it. We'll have you on the show real soon, and I just appreciate them too. They're happy with the journalism and what we're doing. I wouldn't call myself doing journalism. This is just fun. It's we're just chatting here. People don't know that we have calls like this all day long. We're always just chatting, brainstorming.
This is a typical scene here that you guys are seeing. It's recurring.
Yeah. Sometimes we have to tell ourselves, stop, save it for the show. We're going to ruin it.
Exactly, yeah. Always so much to talk about. Yeah, it is a gift. So we appreciate you guys, and definitely keep the interaction coming. We really want to know what you guys think. We are here for the people. So, another interesting thing that's definitely going to serve to make a lot of music fans really happy, looking forward to this summer. As we've talked about on the show, guys, things are starting to open up in a lot of segments of the world, especially North America. And one of the exciting festival announcements was Rock am Ring, one of the biggest festivals in the world. It's set for June 2022, but it's with Green Day, Volbeat, Billy Talent, and more. But really the reason I bring this up is to know, one, Frank and Joe, what festival are you guys most excited to see? And also, what are you guys looking to take Innersleeve and SoundMojo? What level are you looking to take it to in these fields? What are you looking forward to doing at festivals when they open in terms of the show?
For SoundMojo, it's an obvious thing. Is we just want to cover festivals, cover artists, get interviews, get content. Maybe even the dream is to have, maybe because we're local to Montreal, but we're not tied down to Montreal anywhere. But it would be great to be a part of that festival and maybe have a stage for indie bands or SoundMojo artists or anybody who wants to kind of get the spotlight and maximize that there's 20, 30, 40,000 people walking by, and
that's sick, Joe. Yeah.
I know. And I was
That's
thinking,
a good idea.
I'd love to have even the Watch Mojo crew there, and answering questions, or have a booth where it's top 10. We can start doing Watch Mojo style top 10. Yeah, and have people actually tell us, you guys suck, your list, that was horrible. Why would you put this guy there and that, and it's that creates the engagement, and that's what we like, that's what the fans love, We're not always going to be right. We're not always right, it's tough. You can't get everybody into a 10 list, obviously.
Yeah.
Never.
That's so hard.
That's the challenge.
It is the challenge, and that's why it's so incredibly hard. But Joe, before I get to my takes, what is your ideal concert to attend?
Yeah, I don't know, man. There's so many, but I've always heard, I've always loved to, to be honest, anyone almost, Donington, anything in Europe. I'd love to just attend a show in Europe. I've done a bunch here, obviously, but Donington, Vaughan, Glastonbury. I'd love just to be in the whole European scene,
Looks amazing. The passion that they have. I think Glastonbury is where they hold all the flags up and everybody's representing their nation and stuff. I mean, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's great. I would just love to experience it with other people from other places, and see what.
I think a lot of music fans would like to experience a lot more concerts with a lot more people. That's for sure. Yeah. Going off of what we've been through for the past year and a half. That's what I'm trying to say. But for me, I feel the first one that comes to mind, just because the most mainstream one is Coachella, but I feel that's too safe of an answer. That's too mainstream. So I don't know. I'd like to see Tomorrowland. That'd be sick.
That's cool. Hey, they're both popular for a reason, though.
You're popular. My God. Have you seen the shots from Tomorrowland?
Yeah.
It's insane. Is that in Vegas?
Belgium.
Belgium.
Oh, Belgium. Oh, that one. Okay. I was mixing it up with EDC.
Yeah, that's the one you're confusing with. No.
Okay,
Tomorrowland's fully in Belgium, has been, and like Joe was saying, the European festivals are unreal. I think content-wise, the second we had this note in our document here, I'm man, what was really popular and just grabbed people's attention was around 8 to 10 years ago. There was Cassius G on YouTube, and he would just have that series where he'd be on Venice Beach, and
you're bringing back memories, man. Holy.
Yeah, man, I was so young watching this. I ate all that content up, and it was just like California on Canada or California on certain events or whatever, and he'd just interview people whether they know anything about it or not, and it would be little short 3, 5, 6, 7 minute segments about, you know, interviews with randoms. But I feel like that's part of the aura of festivals. Like, you know, you're sharing this experience with people. You kind of want to, even though you might be nervous to talk to people and or approach people, but like that's a fun way to hear the people's take on what's going on. What's the event like? The what are the facilities like? How's the event upkeep? How do they like the artists, obviously themselves, but like the little things that make a concert, like that'd be cool to know. You know,
it's like an on the spot review almost, like as you're going, like a Polaroid picture. You know what I mean? That'd be really interesting to find out how people feel. Like, you know, you guys are bringing up so many images in my head, and honestly, like this is a little side personal anecdote, but one thing that's been like a silly little goal of mine, like not really a real goal in this, is to do an interview with an artist in a golf cart. Wow. I think that would be sitting in the back of a golf cart, maybe have a camera guy and another one filming it, and just talking, like going around the festival grounds. I've always thought that would be so cool.
That's funny because like here locally in Montreal, we have Osheaga, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And like a friend of mine, like some of my friends were hired to do interviews and stuff with, and that's what I saw them on the golf cart. It's a blast, you know, just to do an interview. Like you're basically driving the guy to his set because, you know, they have to go from the catering to where they're going to play their stage. That would be awesome. Like a 2-minute interview just before you go
exactly.
live, right?
Like you set the course, with the cart, like you tell the artist, we'll have you for 2.5 minutes in the cart. We just passed this stage, this stage, this stage. Give us your take. And it'd be like that series that, oh man, it's Celebrities in Cars or something like that.
Comedians get in cars with coffee.
That's it. Yeah, that's
exactly.
Yeah. And the karaoke one too. The carpool karaoke.
Golf carts and festivals.
Yeah, good times.
Something like that, you know. And it would be great if, you know, we had the access to have all the top artists, right? So like if they would be announced on stage as we're finishing the interview, and then you hear the entire the audience roaring as they go. That would be
see you, man. Enjoy your set. Watch them go on stage.
You drive them live onto their stage performance. That'd be epic.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, seriously.
Golf cart
drive onto the thing. Yeah.
Golf cart shows up, you know. That'd be cool.
That's what Judas Priest used to do with a motorcycle. We are rebranding. We're going to give them a run for their money.
I've seen Rob Halford Rob Halford play with the motorcycle on stage and stuff. Yeah, it was interesting.
Legendary. Well, I really hope that we get to see this again, like in person. Like. I've never been this long without a concert, and I know that's anybody who's watching, people are itching for this.
Yeah. But it's weird because I'm confused. I'm seeing a lot of stuff announced for 2021, and like I just don't understand. Like you mentioned that show was 2022, so okay, that makes a lot more sense. That Fleppard and Motley Crue canceled, but I'm still seeing stuff.
The U.S. is wide open now.
That's it. That's what I figure. Right?
It pretty much is.
There's 16,000 people in a closed arenas in the NHL playoffs. You know, like
which is nuts. I mean,
we'll see.
They even had
and so you can only imagine an outdoor festival.
Yeah. So it's basically they're going back to normal. It's like
close to
for the most part.
We'll see what happens, right? It'll be a good experiment for us to know, like, okay, yeah, it is safe to put 15,000 people in a place. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm cool with finding out. You know, it is interesting too, though. Like Vegas just had an EDM festival. I think 15,000 folks. Deadmau5 was there. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that seems to be occurring.
Deadmau5. We want Deadmau5 on the show. We want
Deadmau5 on the show. This is me speaking into existence.
Yes, manifest destiny, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. So hopefully it'll work. But listen, we're really happy that you guys joined us on this episode. And I don't know if you guys had any closing thoughts, but you know, now I'm just daydreaming about festivals over here.
Just to pivot a little bit, I think we wanted to shout out what's going on in Sweden, in Stockholm at the newly named Avicii Arena.
What was this about?
Well, this is like, you know, celebrating the superstar DJ that I think personally, when he came on the scene, brought a fresh breath of air to EDM. You know, with the whole even some bluegrass playing, the banjo style. I found that like he opened up the palette that was accepted in EDM. You know, because before you wouldn't, I don't know, like personally, I wouldn't hear banjo on EDM stuff. You know, so
no,
it was interesting.
And even like. I don't want to overspeak here because I don't know the genre and the entire genre as well as other people, but I feel like Avicii, EDM is still a continuously growing field. It's so young in comparison to other genres, and yet when he was out producing music, I think back to Wake Me Up and Hey Brother, like kind of
That's
integrated country southern vocals with EDM, like
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I love about it. The banjo, the country, a different vibe, and it was fresh. And, personally, I'm not a huge EDM fan, but I mean, I really respected the kid's style. Forgive me, but his style, his sound, and his approach, right? He was really young. But I don't know if you guys watched the documentary on Netflix after his passing, and that one really made me really made me like, holy cow, this kid was suffering, again, sorry, kid. I don't know why I keep saying kid, because it's just because he was young. But yeah, it was really sad, because all he really wanted was to just do music. I don't understand how, maybe it's contractual obligations and stuff, but they should have just left him do music. You don't have to go and play in front of 500,000. Maybe you could do 2 gigs a year, big. He's going to get paid 500,000 per gig anyway, or whatever.
But he struggled with the over touring and the constant changes.
And I think the fandom was a bit unnerving for him too. Because could you imagine? You go everywhere you go, dude. It's shutters of cameras going all over your face, and you can't have any privacy. And if someone really wants to just be on their own, anyway, I remember he had a bit of a dip. And then it seemed like he was coming back, even in the documentary. He was more joyful, more happy. And then we just got the bad news, and it was like, wow, what the hell happened?
Yeah,
there?
he passed away at 28 years old. And anyway, so getting back to the original point, a really nice gesture on behalf of the Swedish people, essentially, to recognize him. Yeah, the Ericsson Arena in Stockholm has now been renamed to Avicii Arena as a tribute to him. So a really nice gesture, a good way to remember him by as well. So. Yeah,
I like that. It speaks a lot on the arena because just look at the ridiculous names of arenas that they do for money now. There's an arena in America called the KFC Yum Center.
Yeah. So it's all big brands or banks.
Exactly. So it's they're actually giving away tens of millions of dollars to do a tribute to Avicii, if you think about it. So that's a good testament to this group in this arena. So shout out to them, definitely. And shout out to Avicii. Always sad when somebody passes who is a pioneer, especially. And you guys are bringing more awareness to me about this because EDM is probably one of my weaker points in music. So it's always interesting to find out different stuff. And I appreciate a pioneer at any level of it. So we're really glad that we could have that happen. And listen, thank you guys for tuning into this episode of Inner Sleeve. We're 24 shows in. We're having a ball. And this is all possible because of you guys. So hope you enjoyed GWAR. Make sure to go check out their acoustic record, get that pre-order link, and if you're watching this in the future, it may already be out, so just click the link in the description below. And also make sure to click that subscribe button. It's the same on every platform, whether you watch us on YouTube, whether you listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. There's a subscribe button on all of those platforms, so make sure you click it. And if you're on YouTube, click the little notification bell next to the subscribe button so that you can stay very much up to date with everything that we post, get formal updates. We also have the community tab there where people can vote on polls. They can tell us what they want to hear and see. This is all audience based and it's based on your feedback. So the more you give us, the more we'll do.
And let us know, what we were saying about comments, drop some comments. Let us know who you'd like to see, what you'd like to see, what would you like us to cover. Even your ideal content piece you'd maybe like us to go and cover at a festival.
That's a good point.
And, we're at 21,500, so let's get to 22.
Let's get road to 22K, guys. Every time we'll have a new challenge for another K.
Yeah, we're going to be annoying. We're going to be really annoying about it.
We have to stay on top of it, man.
Well, if it's annoying, let us know. Let us know in the comments.
True.
Yeah, let us know. Just let us know. Whatever, even if you hate us, just make sure you comment and then we're good. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll catch you guys next time back here on Inner Sleeve.